Hey Foods fam, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making the infamous rainbow bagels. First thing that we're gonna do is measure out our ingredients so that everything's ready to go, and then I'll give you a different view here of my bowl on my KitchenAid mixer so that you can see what I'm doing. But the first thing that we need to do is grab our water. I just warmed up some from the microwave, so I'm gonna grab that. Got our water. And we need this to be anywhere from 90 to 110 degrees because our ingredient or our leavening agent today that's going to make the bagels rise and get puffy is yeast. So we're going to need some warm water for that yeast. Yeast likes a warm environment. It likes sugar, so we're gonna add some of that in. So it looks like we're at about 100 degrees, which is good. So we got our warm water, 2 cups of that, and then we need looks like 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. So we got our extra dry yeast. So I'm gonna pre-measure that into a little bowl here. 1, 2, and then 1/4 teaspoon. All right, that's ready to go. We need 1 tablespoon of sugar. Pre-measure that into a little bowl right here. Salt. Okay, 2 teaspoons salt. And a tablespoon of vegetable oil. All right, now we've got all of our stuff pre-measured except for our flour because we need 6 cups of flour. So we'll do that as we go. All right, so from this view, we can see all these pre-measured ingredients that I have ready to go, and you can get a better view of my KitchenAid mixer. So my mixer is a little bit different than the ones that we have at school. Mine is a tilt head. And what that means is that it tilts up and down to put your attachments in it, instead of having a crank on the side that moves the bowl up and down. So that's the only difference. Otherwise, I have the same attachments that we do at school. And the one that we're gonna be using today is called the dough hook because we're making a dough. All right, our attachment is on and we are ready to add some ingredients. So first thing I'm gonna do is make sure I give my bowl a twist and make sure that it's in place. Okay, so we're going to add our warm water first. We're gonna just put this in the bowl of the stand mixer. Then I'm going to put the sugar in there. And then we're going to add our yeast to that sugar water. And we're going to let it hang out until the yeast gets nice and foamy. So just like you would with a pizza crust or a bread dough, anything where you use yeast, you have to give it a little bit of time to activate and get all foamy. So while that yeast is getting all nice and foamy, it's gonna take about 5 minutes. So I'm going to measure out all of my flour that I need so that I'm not wasting any time. So I'm gonna need a 1 cup measuring cup, my spoon to spoon it into the cup, and my butter knife to level it off. You guys are experts at this technique, the scoop and level technique. So we're gonna do this 6 times for 6 cups. Scoop and level. Scoop and level. Flat edge, across the top. 1 down. 5 to go. Alright, we're gonna do a check on the foam action. So this started to get really foamy. The yeast really likes sugar and it eats that sugar. And then the sugar causes it to release carbon dioxide. So really what the yeast is doing is it's eating sugar and then it's burping out these bubbles, and that's what's causing us to get all of these foamy bubbles. And that's what's gonna cause our bread to rise. So now to my flour, I'm gonna add my salt. I'm gonna just quickly mix that in so that it's evenly distributed in our dry ingredients. And there's a lot of foam from the yeast, so that looks like it's ready to go. So we're gonna add our oil that we measured. And then we're gonna add our flour in here and we're gonna start mixing. All right, so we just need to add our dry ingredients. This is our flour and our salt. We're gonna put this in the bowl. Not to get it everywhere. All right, so the next thing that we need to do is, on my machine, I have to tilt it down, put the dough hook in there, lock it into place, and then once I have all of my stuff set up, that's when I'm gonna plug it in. Safety first. And then we're gonna set it to low, and we're gonna start mixing. So come on over here, watch it. So I have it on the lowest setting, and it's gonna start to form a dough. So now, I'm gonna take a look at it, pull off the dough hook. I'm looking for it to not be super sticky, but not be super dry. And it shouldn't be super hard or super soft. Feels about right. When I touch it, there's not a lot of dough that sticks to my hands, so that's good. Our next step is to take our bowl of dough and we're gonna start kneading this. We need to develop the gluten in here and make it a little more elastic and less sticky. So I'm gonna flour my work surface. Just means I'm gonna sprinkle flour on the counter. It's gonna keep it from sticking to my countertop. All right, got my ball of dough. And to knead dough, remember, put it on your work surface. You're gonna push down, fold it in half, turn it, push it, fold in half, push, turn, fold in half, keep folding it, pushing it. You kind of use the heel of your hand to do that. Just like when we made gluten balls in class, only this is a really large amount of dough. You guys have a little ball of dough like this big. So this one takes a little more effort. And we want to knead this until the dough is smooth and not sticky anymore. Okay, looks pretty good to me. Now comes the fun part where we're going to add all our different colors of the rainbow to our dough. So the first thing I need to do is grab my cutting mat, and I'm gonna put my ball of dough on there. I have a nice round circle, and I'm gonna cut this into 6 equal sized pieces. Now each of our little wedges is going to be a different color of the rainbow. So I have red, orange, yellow, blue, green, and purple. So here we go. I will speed this up for you. I'm gonna remove my jewelry so it doesn't get colored. And we're gonna just start kneading. One thing that is really helpful to keep your hands from getting too colored or stained from this dye is to grease your hands with Crisco before you start to knead that dough. It's gonna can feel really weird and gross, but it's gonna keep your hands from being a rainbow. I'm just gonna take some in my hands. I'm gonna rub it around. And that's going to hopefully keep some of this dye off. Red is the one that stains the most, so here we go. Let's see how it turns out. Okay, I'm gonna call that good for my red. So I'm gonna spray one of these bowls so it doesn't stick, and then it's gonna sit there and rise. And the dough needs to rise for about an hour and a half. So I'm gonna go ahead and make their other colors, and then we will put them all together into our bagel shapes. So for this one, I'm going to show you what it looks like if you want to do a marble effect. And we'll see how much energy I have left for the other colors. We might have a really marbly bagel. But if you want it to look kind of like a swirled or marbled effect, then you would just mix it until it's about like so, where you can still see some of that normal dough color peeking through. And this actually makes a really cool effect on the finished product. So we're gonna stop this one here, and we'll see how that makes our bagel turn out. So again, we're gonna set it in a bowl and move on to our next color. All right, this will have to do for our purple, as I'm out of food coloring. It's a little bit of marble here too. All right, the last one goes in the bowl, and then we're gonna cover these other three with some plastic wrap. We're gonna come back in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and these should have about doubled in size, and then we'll be ready to shape them and turn them into bagels. While we're shaping the bagels, we're going to fill up a stock pot with water, and we're gonna bring that to a boil. And then we're gonna preheat our oven to 450 degrees. Look at our dough. It's gotten really nice and puffy. It has definitely doubled in size since we last saw it. So now, I'm gonna remove the film. Put it closer to me. And now we get to punch it down and release all of that air. Alright, so now I want to set these up on my pastry mat in rainbow order. so because I know that the red one stains really badly, I'm going to start with the purple. And what we need to do is make a big rectangle with our dough. So I'm gonna start. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm gonna grab my rolling pin. Ooh, what's this stick? We want to make it a little more square on the edges. Okay. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, so Roy G. Biv. I want blue, right? Blue. What? Yeah, I finally got my cameraman back. Okay. So now I'm gonna try and make the same size rectangle as I had before. It's sticky. The rolling pin is just to help you get it to a uniform thickness. Okay, it's about right. You can squish it a little bit when we put them on top of each other. There we go. We want them to be the same size. Huh? Yep. Okay, so now we should have all of our colors in each layer. And now I'm gonna take a serrated knife, or bread knife, and I'm gonna saw a piece off going this way so that we get every single color in our bagel. And this is gonna help to saw through that dough. Okay, so now I have my dough piece. It's got all the different colors in it. Looks pretty cool. And I'm going to make a snake and twist it a little bit. Ooh, it looks so pretty. So if you've ever played with Play-Doh, this is kind of the same thing where you roll like this on the tabletop. And it's making a snake shape. And then we're gonna twist it so that you see all those pretty colors. Okay, now I'm gonna twist it and I'm gonna form it into a circle with a hole in the middle. There's my bagel. And now is the tricky part. We gotta pinch really well to seal that edge so that it doesn't come apart. To make this a bagel texture when you bite into it, we're going to boil these in some water for about 30 seconds on each side. And that's gonna give us that chewy texture that we want because we need it to be a little bit crispy and chewy on the outside, but soft on the inside. That's what's gonna give us that good texture. And we really need to make sure we seal this off before we put them in the boiling water, otherwise it'll come apart. So very important that we make it so that you can't tell where the edge is. Okay, there's a beautiful rainbow bagel. This one's ready to go. Okay, so I'm gonna make the rest of these and then we'll come back and we will show you how we boil them and get them ready for baking. So we've got our hot water in our pot. And now we're going to grab a couple of our bagels. Double check that our seams are closed. Then we're gonna very carefully, so we don't burn ourselves, lower them into the water. And 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, we're gonna give them 30 seconds on each side. Okay, then I'm gonna flip them to the other side. 30 more seconds. So now I'm gonna flip them back to the pretty side because I like the top side better. And I'm gonna very carefully lift them out. They do become very slippery and a little slimy from this process. So be careful, they might slide around on you. And they'll have puffed up just a little bit. Okay, we're letting the water drain off. And there we go. Beautiful. All right, then we're gonna repeat the process with the rest of the bagels. Yeah, so because we had one that fell apart, we're gonna check this guy to see if they're done in the middle. So we just wanna make sure that the bread is fully cooked. The hard part with these is making sure that they're cooked all the way through without turning a golden brown color, because that ruins our beautiful rainbow colors. But these look like they're cooked all the way through. They look like they have a bread texture. Ow, that's hot. Yeah, these look good. So, time to plate it up. Okay, we have our lovely rainbow bagel here. I'm gonna plate it up by adding some cream cheese, cutting it right down the middle. It's still really hot, so it might be a little hard to cut. Whoop. But they're really good when they're warm. The goal is to have a crispy, crunchy, chewy texture on the outside with a really nice fluffy inside. I think we got it. Nice and fluffy on the inside there. Okay, so now the best part, our funfetti cream cheese. Give it a nice smear. And don't be stingy with it. This is why we doubled it. All right. I think that looks pretty happening. Okay. Now, this is a recipe that's a little more complex. If you want to try this at home, I'm going to recommend that you please ask for your parents' permission, because I got food coloring all over my kitchen. So please make sure it's okay with your parents before you go using food coloring all over and making a huge mess in your house. But we'll go on with it here. Let's give this a try. If you make these, I would love to see your creation. These always turn out really beautiful. You can use whatever colors you want. The hype is real. There's a reason why people all around the school talk about these. Rainbow Bagel Day is a good day. So I've got some more bagels to make and eat. I wish I could mail you each one of these glorious bagels in the mail, but since I can't, I will enjoy them for you.
I miss you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!